Hi guys, I had a talk today with friends from the past, a lot of friends, and um, then there was a kind of situation. We talked with a specific friend about issue in the past from a long time ago, like 30, 35 years ago. And by the way, I apologize for being out of service for a while. I had a family member terminal illness and death in the family. I got divorced, and not just that, I had a poisoning with sodium hydroxide last August, and for the last 8 months, I'm suffering from following of this with stuff that followed this poisoning. Anyway, I'm going back to what I started. Um, we talked to friends and ended up talking about specific people, and some of the specific people were love interest. I was married, very happy married for 25 years. And so it's not about this. It was the stuff before I got married. I was a young man, and I went through several countries. And this thing, during this travel through several countries, not travel, but living, I lived there for years. And then when I approached my 30s, I ended up in the United States. And all the people connection I created with ended up in the past. I call them, those people are counterparts. We create a lot of counterparts. We create counterparts in love. We create counterparts in neighborhoods. We create counterparts at work. When we're younger, it's easier and deeper. Now I'm 60, actually. This year will be 61. So you know, we are, when we're older, we kind of expect our destiny to manifest. This is what the channel in a way about. It's expectation of destiny. It's the expectation of our destiny to manifest in front of our eyes and our lives, because we spend so much time living. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm 60 years old. It's a lot of time. It's a whole period. It's a very important part. But of course, I would like to live 3 times as much. Okay, so what I notice about not just immigrants, but people who live in the United States, there's a lot of loneliness. I call it epidemic of loneliness. And it's not just because people are moving from one place to another, but it's really, there is no connection with people. And even though some of the connection is created and they're broken because of some kind of reason. And the problematic, I said, issue is that people cannot hold on to each other. This is a country that has one of the biggest divorce rates. Believe me, I already know when I got divorced a year ago. And it's very, very damaging to a lot of people. And so what happens, even after divorce, some people try to climb to and hold to some different relations and that were in the past. And with me, I actually didn't. I kind of just, I tried to kind of put some kind of a word out. Maybe some people warmed up for me were not really warm and hot before I got married and stuff like this. So my point, this is what is interesting when you're a normal person looking for companionship. Okay, so um, as I said, because of my marriage 25 years, I wouldn't worry about. I didn't worry much. I'm going to start talking about stuff that happened very long time ago. And so when you're young and you're suddenly displaced, you end up in surroundings that can be familiar to you, but you have no connection, the deep connection, because some of the best connection we're talking about human relations is a connection that go deep in the past, sometimes in the neighborhoods where you live, or childhood or school. And then you kind of develop bonds, as I said, and you become counterparts for different way, and you even don't think about anymore as people. You think that these people will disappear. Actually, they do. Because when you're younger, you think these people are going to be forever all the time near you. And you sometimes postpone things. You don't try to do things because you think, oh, it's normal. It's going to be things going to be here, or he or she will be here tomorrow. So the what happens when you end up alone, and not just end up alone, but kind of isolated, and the only thing you can do is think of the past. This is what people try to get in the past, to climb for things and try to search for possible solution with stuff that happened in the past. I just simply got some of my notes, and the I want to kind of share. So the looking back for all the relationships or relationships that could have happened in the past. I think it's my opinion, as I said, and I'm not old, but I am kind of a man of age. I'll be 61 this year, and I would say for young people, it's one of the worst thing you can do. Uh, and there's another thing what's horrible is science proved that about half of the people, even more, every day spend about 80% or even more, like 85% of their time replaying past events and try to imagine a new outcome. If they would say this, if they would have done this, it's no point, because it's a loop of the past. And if you are lonely and you look for companionship, you look for special relationship, which a lot of people do when they approach a certain age. Women look for marriage, and from guys look for mate and for marriage as well. And uh, so the by creating this attachment in the past, is that you try to get kind of a claim to this attachment and try to send them in a way to them and restart or do something. As I said, it's a waste of time. And there is a situation that I don't know if you're familiar with yoga. So yoga, it's one of the most ancient things on earth, philosophies. And in Tantra yoga, there is a thing called mind and heart stamp. What it means is, if you go through a specific relationship or specific like things like love or a loss, you will have impression in a way in your memory, your brain, mind, and your heart because of the feelings. Lots of scientists lately say that there is some there's in the heart there is some cells that are really similar to the one in the brain. So that's why ancient people, they knew what they were talking about. The mind and the heart are related in a way. So uh, it's like a tattoo that's kind of put on your body, and it stays there. But now, after time, you don't want it because it takes too much of your affection for life and takes your time as well. You think so much stuff about the stuff that you start ignoring your present life, because you have past life and you have life I call life, which is now. Okay. And our heart is a similar cells, as I say, and it's very painful when you suffer, or especially love or loss and things like this. So it's like you have, as I said, you have a tattoo. Now you have to remove it. Like you have to cut your skin or go to a laser surgery that burns your body with pain and so on and so on. But you have to get rid of it. There's no other way you can do. Otherwise, you're gonna get stuck in the past. But you cannot do that because you you will destroy your life, and after you become 50 years old, you will turn back and say, "Man, why I lost so many possibility of lovers. I mean, and so on, so on. Why? 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 What did they do? wrong. And the wrong was getting hold on to a past relationship. But a lot of people not just to hold on to past relationship, they um, hold on to expectation of relationship. Like some people say, well, I love her or I love him, or if I just do thing and I say something, and this person would kind of start looking at me different way, and you know it's wrong. It's called lost cost fallacy in business. It means people are trying to approach the same problem, spending time, money, and energy of your body to achieve something that is in the first place it's not going to happen. Okay. So what do we do? How do we get rid of this thing? I found for myself to have really um, helpful way, but on the other hand, it's unbelievably ugly. Um, you know, um, there is a, as I said, you have to remove your attachment, and it's supposed to be really ugly. See uh, the friends. There's a joke: friends who betray you. I wouldn't say it's actually a joke. I'm sorry. It's saying that friends who betray you, don't be sorry for them, and because when they betray you and hurt you, they were not your friends of in the first place. And I'm trying to get rid of the word betray. Why? Because if you think about it honestly, betray is really hard to say, because the betrayal is the specific person, and they kind of put all the hate to this person and say, no, you're not getting me. But it's not the thing. It's actually making a decision. When they have a choice to make, they make a decision to select somebody else, but not you. In a way, it is really helpful, but this is what it is. This person, whoever is your love interest, selected somebody else because they think that this people, those person, or several people within several years, they're better than you. So for them, you're, in a way, kind of a nobody. You're under mesh, as subhuman in a way when we are talking about love. Okay. So that's why to say that from love to hate there is only one step, and this is exactly what it is. So you have no choice. You have someone who gotten under your skin, in your brain, in your love field, and consuming your energy without contributing to you or paying you back in a way with their love and affection. Okay. So what do you do? What helped me, I will tell. Uh, First, you have to realize that the love relationships are, in a way, form of servitude. There is one psychologist internet, I forgot his name. He's somewhere from Lebanon, or so he had very simple. What love means? It's emotional attachment. It's empathic attachment to others' feeling, to somebody's person through your feelings, with the intention of servitude. Like you got so attached to the spiritual that you're ready to do whatever this person asks for. And suddenly you realize this is not the case. Now, if you have your emotional attachment to this person and you're willing to give whatever it takes to make her, or him happy, you expect something in return. Sometimes you don't. That's a really bad thing. But if you are, um, if you are finally found somebody who has emotional attachment the same as you do to them, it's a heaven on earth, because you will have total union in a way. You will have emotional, empathic attachment to each other with the intent of servitude. So you will have somebody who takes care of you, and you will be the one who takes care of them. But as I said, it happens really, really seldom. Most of the time, it doesn't happen at all. So sometimes God's will to take you away from the person who you're in love with because they will exploit you and to the point of your emotional exhaustions on daily basis. So, so what do you do? There's only one thing. It's the same as you do with narcissist. You have to take the basis for the narcissist to kind of take advantage of you in a way. So what you do? Really, this is the first step. Because I'm sorry, as I said, I have still effects after the poisoning, and I have almost 10 months ago. So what do you do this? You just leave. This is one thing. It's removing yourself from the environment that you can be in a way assaulted every day um, through emotions. So the next one, what you do is you have to make sure that you no longer have time to think. This is take busy with your job, take the uh, hobbies, whatever you have, kind of expand them, but yet it's not going to be enough. In a time of silence, when you go home and you're by yourself, and when everything is quiet, doesn't distract you, you will start going back to, in a way, to this person. So what do? You have to, in a way, make them for yourself to convince yourself first they don't deserve you. This is one thing, and this is the way you actually try to remember things. Try to remember bad stuff, and then you try to remember situations specifically with you when those people try to kind of adjust their behavior try to adjust their behavior from um, being normal and uh, be really cruel and bad to you in a way. Try to remember very well why, because people who are not interested in you um, for love reasons, they not always let you go because they would say that instead of keep you hanging around because of narcissism. You see, it's a way of uh, kind of a reassure themselves that yeah, there's people out there. It's not just somebody that he or she is interested in, and he doesn't respond sometimes because they're sorry us too because they have a somebody who is not exactly in love with them but use them, but they kind of have a symbiosis of some kind, and then they have you that will reassure them. Oh no, if even this person leaves, there's always somebody else. Oh, I'm not thanking you, but I'm just thinking, okay, if this idiot is here, there could be somebody else too. So this is what the thing is, and this I call it sometimes what they do. They will try to kind of work out a specific way of communications with you that on the same time you will suffer, on the same time, at different time you will have a kind of a hope. So this way they kind of a two-way. They keep you at the same time. You're kind of a emotional dump. Okay. So I call it, in a way, I just wrote down this tortured. It's a tailored torture by specific worked out for you. So try to remember those things, and actually your body will help you. You see, body and mind and memories, they're really helpful to each other, and kind of the way your body and mind understand that by separating yourself from a narcissist that you are in love with, you will be much better emotionally. And because our body are created, the way I understand, by the creator, this way. There's no, it's like self-fixing machine. And if you're moving from bad environment, the vitalism of the body, and not just the body, but vitalism of the mind, will try to restore itself and go further. Okay. So you will have this, I call it tailored garbage that was against you. And so what do? You start repeating yourself this thing that kind of is going to take a while. Yeah. You will, by reminding yourself, you start, your total recall kicks in, and you will have a lot of stuff that you actually didn't notice, or your body or your mind separated itself, it's you from this in order not to be hurt in the past. But now everything's going to be coming back to normal. You're going to have total recall, as I said. You have a people, start remembering about people, and then you realize that you have a pattern of, in a way, love abuse. And this person who you in love with, and you're chasing, uh, never wanted you. Well, this was just kind of a, you kind of became emotional slave. You know what I mean? And I heard another joke, all the time. It was the 1990s. Was, so much uh, emotional larceny, but you're the one who do the larceny. You waste your emotions on somebody who never actually gonna use them. They do use them, but they don't use them for your purpose. So by creating this atmosphere of, for yourself, of remembering the past, negative past about a specific person, the fact that you moved this person from being king or queen in your mind. So person who you have affection for, and um, you know um, uh, my relations with women in the past. This is what it is. It's very, very important for you to realize that by making this woman um, someone who is not anymore relative to your life. For some people, are it's very, very bad for the women themselves. It's one thing. It can be for one your kind of revenge, but it's not always happening, because you see, you can be how you call it, a regular person. You can have a regular income, whatever. Some one of those women can have, I call it alpha male companionship. So of course you don't compare, because of the massive amount of money they were willing to spend, made them happy. But yet, we're talking about you, not them. They're separated. They were cared about you. You're shut down. You're shut off from them. They don't care about you. But now you still end up with um, consequences of relationships. And so, as I said, the only thing you do is to separate them from being in a high to go to the lowest. Practically, you keep remembering, you're reminding yourself what's happening every day, why happen on every day, what's happening, what was happening in the past, and this reminding of every day, it's kind of creates a situation. As I said, there was a mind and heart stem. This tattoo of mind and heart stem will be removed day by day, and then you have, I call it mother of all bones in a relationship. You will remember something that's been really, really painful. And this thing is going to erase completely your attachment. Not right away, but it could be a while after. What happens is you have something that is going to be really painful. And when I have really painful, uh, when you start remembering this and kind of talking, you still have imagination. Sometimes you work and imagine you start thinking about stuff, and then now you suddenly realize that you're somewhere, you're working, but you're somewhere, and you're going places, and then when you go to the places where it's going to be bad for you to remember, the body actually shuts down by itself those thinking. It cuts off, because it preserves the body and the brain of some kind of a pain in general. It's going to be one, two, three, four, five, six, 7 times, and then you realize that you absolutely forgot. You stop thinking about it, and so many months passed. And what the hell? Where did I think about this person last time? So it's going to be a very long time. And this is what actually I was thinking. And then you're like by like this, your mind opens for other relationships. This is, as I said, my personal experience. And the personal experience, as I said, and the moment I force myself to do this distance, automatically body changes, mind changes, and you kind of reclaim yourself. And as I said, I found a wife, I had children, and it was so absolutely different things. And this is what is important. You, um, as I said, it's part narcissism, part um, your problem. So you will have a much better life if you don't go to if you don't go to continue taking your time with somebody. Because your life is really short. Yesterday I was 18. Now this year I'm hitting 61. So it's days kind of pass really fast. You know, months not exactly. But overall life passes like we don't even realize, and you have no right even before yourself. And people say very correct. If you have somebody um, who has to go, let them go and find something else. But I understand, like specifically like a man. I mean, you had. For instance, you think about some women that you were interested in the past, but kind of refuse you. So, you can say, oh, kind of start getting curious. What would be if I wouldn't, for instance, get her in bed? You know, something like, would it be nice? I'm sure it would be nice, but not when you're 70. I mean, I talk directly. So there's no BS with me. If I would say it, I would say it. And unfortunately, there's a lot of women, and I'm sure there are men. As I said, I'm interested in women, so I don't understand the other relationships. So um, the it's hard for a lot of people to get rid of all those, but you have to. Okay, this is it for today. I will try to, as I said, to go back with this channel very good because you see, I love this stuff, numerology, human relations. Unfortunately, as I said, I had a death in the family with my mother, and I was poisoned myself. I don't know how long it's going to be because I cannot cure myself. It's going to be 10 months, and I still have this acid burning not resolved yet. Okay, you have a good night, and thank you for being there.